too weak, scream and shout. We are told to shut our mouths. No more lies, thorn in your eye. We're all together. This is war. Out of nowhere. 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 This is war. This is
Hey, what's going on, everybody in the chat? What's going on? Triple H and Brock Lesnar staring at the staring on the thumbnail like they're about to go inside their favorite female. That's what Brock Lesnar and Triple H look like, and I swear to God, that's the face they're making. Like their favorite female just pulled down her pants, and it's time to go to war. I can see it on Triple H's face. And I can see it on Brock's face. And Brock is really ready to go to war here in this photo. Like, he is very, very convinced that fornication is about to take place. WWE news, pretty lacking. AEW, pretty lacking. And all the news really this week has been dull, but bad. I don't think
a lot of bad news. And it looks like Brock just got asked a really tough math question there. He's trying to figure it out.
And Triple H looks like he knows the answer behind him.
Yeah, it's like, what's 25 times 2? And Brock's like,
yeah. Oh, no. But Triple H is like,
because Paul Heyman's not there to answer it for him.
Right. You know what? I never thought about that. That's when I made this earlier.
That's what it comes down to.
That is exactly what's going on.
You know what, Joe? Let's get right into it, because that's pretty much the story I'm hearing right now with Brock Lesnar.
Wait, Triple H is gay?
No, besides that, we'll get into Triple H and his comments shortly, but Brock Lesnar apparently, they want him back, they don't want him back. Now I'm hearing from Meltzer, he's saying that the Lesnar versus Lashley match is not being planned for SummerSlam, and their main match right now is John Cena versus Roman Reigns. And the reason that they feel they should hold off on Lesnar is because it puts Paul Heyman in a bad spot until he comes to face Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's managing the Roman Reigns, he can't also manage Lesnar, can he? So it's like, where would he go? Who does he? So it just makes sense to have Lesnar come in to feud with Roman.
I guess,
especially for the title.
I would
imagine so.
Well, I would think that they could do something where like Roman makes Paul Heyman only pick him. Like, you can only be with me. No one, you can't be with someone else. And like.
And Lesnar could say the same thing, though, and it's like,
well, you can make Lesnar the face easily by Lesnar being like, what? Like, why? He's like, you can.
Well, that's how I think they would position this, since Roman's the ultimate heel right now.
Yeah, like
that seems to make the most sense.
Basically, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar's like, listen, I don't care who else Paul represents, because he represents me just fine. As long as he does his job with me, I got no problem, and he does that just fine. I don't give a damn. He can represent how he's always represent other clients. So he's like, but obviously I'm the biggest one. And, Roman can basically be the bad guy by saying, like, no, Paul, you can't rep anybody else but me, brother. That's not happening. And
I'm just not that excited by this, though. I mean, I get the idea now that it's face Lesnar, heel Roman. I mean, there's a different aspect to it, sure, and I'm sure it would be much better than most of the matches they had previously, especially since Roman is more seasoned now. I prefer him as the heel version, obviously. But same thing with Cena and Roman. We've seen this, and the only thing there that kind of makes it interesting is maybe Cena might beat Roman. I doubt it, but there is talk that they want him to go ahead and top, Ric Flair's record. So,
I'm sure he will beat it.
That could be it.
Maybe. I mean, we really don't know. We really don't know if he could. I mean, because he's just gone away so far from wrestling. We didn't expect John Cena to leave like he has. I didn't. I mean, years ago. We always thought,
he said he would have been back sooner, I guess, recently, had it not been for COVID making it so difficult. And I really believe that because he does love wrestling.
Right.
But I wonder how much he would have been around.
I just can't.
It probably would have just been WrestleMania or, something else.
I said this years ago, but I still can't believe it's been about 3 years, right? 3 years or almost or more of John Cena really stepping away. I mean, we didn't see that coming. Like, I didn't see that coming. I saw him once in a while. He would be in a movie or step away for a month or two. That made sense to me. But I never would have guessed that we would see this guy leave for this long. I'm shocked, like, that we're still at this point right now.
Up until recently, I was excited to see John Cena return. Now, with the Fast 9 stuff and him just ass-kissing China, it's just not a good look.
Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of people aren't happy with him. And no, I mean,
what do you mean?
Mostly
what do you mean?
his repeat matches. A lot of Americans aren't happy with John Cena for him being so easily willing to apologize. So,
yeah, I mean,
he learned Mandarin to not only do these press junkets. All he had to say was, "I misspoke." That's it. You didn't have to apologize. You didn't have to. You're speaking a language you learned for them. There was no grace or
there's really no right answer in his situation. There's nothing he can do.
I guess not.
If he says nothing, the movie But I told you what he should have said. I thought it would have been great if he said, "Hey, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit." That'd have been hilarious to me. But then they lose China. But they're going to lose China anyway because something's going on in the world, and we don't know what it is yet, but there's some kind of Cold War going on right now between us, the Russians, China, and something else. I don't know what it is. It's going on, though. It's happening. We're at war right now. We just aren't saying it. We're at some kind of cyber war or weird fucking cold cyber war. There's some
look at everything being hacked recently.
Right.
All these facilities and important mainstays that are being hacked and controlled and remotely and basically being ransomed with Bitcoin hostages, but what are you going to do? And when they had to, one of the places that paid the ransom, when they had finally gotten their Bitcoin back, now it's worth so much less that they didn't even, they made like half of their money back.
Right.
So the FBI was able to get their Bitcoin back, but now it's worth next to nothing compared to what they spent on it. So it's funny how that worked, essentially.
I don't know what's happening, but something's up, man.
I don't know what they're going to do with Lesnar. I honestly, because if he's not going to, if Meltzer says here that the Lesnar-Lashley match is not being planned, so if that's off the table, what do they have him do for SummerSlam? I know they want SummerSlam to be the new big WrestleMania of the year. I get that. They're even planning an NXT takeover the next night after SummerSlam, since that'll be a Sunday night, since SummerSlam is going to be a Saturday.
I mean, I would expect if Lesnar's not at SummerSlam, that Lesnar shows up the night after on Raw. That's what I would set up for Lesnar then.
I could see that as well to set something up, but that's what I'm saying. Like, who does he feud with if he's not going against Lashley or Reigns?
Well, you could have Lesnar show up on Raw and say, maybe I'm here to hurt somebody on Raw, maybe I'm here for whatever. Then he could show up on SmackDown. I think it'd be more interesting to have Lesnar on SmackDown, but the problem with that is, man, Raw needs help. So if you have no Lesnar...
Yeah, I know. And sadly, You're right about that.
I would have
absolutely
Lesnar
right.
come in like
And there's no stars.
I would put Lesnar on both shows, but he won't do this because he probably like signs a contract for what, like 4 appearances. But in a perfect world, you would sign Lesnar to be on TV for like 4 weeks, where he's on Raw, SmackDown, and basically the goal is Lesnar's here to get a contract from Raw or SmackDown, and he's going to decide. You know, both everybody offers him a contract, obviously. And then Lesnar...
I don't think Vince would want to pay for all that, though, sadly, because it's, what, $750,000 per appearance?
Yeah, so you're looking at, like, everything all in one, when really he'll probably have 5 to 6 appearances within a year. But to get him to do 4 appearances... But that would really help the shows, because it would say Lesnar's here tonight, he's going to be on SmackDown Friday, and then he announces on SmackDown Friday that he's going to be on Raw again Monday, and then he'll be back to SmackDown to make a decision. And then he gives his decision. And then Lesnar's decision is that he's decided to sign with both. And he can go anywhere he wants, whenever he wants to. And that's how SmackDown ends. After 4 appearances from Lesnar, it ends with Lesnar saying, I can go wherever I want to. And as Lesnar says that, and they're like, oh, my God, what does this mean? We don't know who he's going to go after or what's going to happen with Lesnar.
Yeah, just have him come out, wreck matches, and leave like he used to, where he would come out in the middle, you know, and basically just cause a disqualification and wreck everybody in the ring and leave.
Well, then I would have
him come out on both shows and just be a menace.
Well, then I would have Roman Reigns upset at the end of the show, staring at the TV and then looking at Paul Heyman and saying, you know,
have him interrupt the Usos match. You know,
well, I
like
would have.
If you're really gonna,
I would have Roman Reigns start, the next week off with. Well, I would have Roman Reigns end that night by staring at the TV and be like, you know, get a person with a microphone to be like, Roman, what do you think? You know, Brock Lesnar can go to Raw or SmackDown, and you know, Paul Heyman represents both of you. What does that mean? And Roman just can look at them and just be like, I'll tell you what it means. It means Paul Heyman's in some deep shit. And then it goes off the air. And then next week on SmackDown, Roman Reigns starts the night in the middle of the ring with Paul Heyman. Or Paul Heyman comes out and the Usos and Reigns are in the ring. And you're like, oh my God, they're going to beat the shit out of Heyman. But basically, they could go 2 ways. One way is you actually have Brock Lesnar back again, and that's when they work the program. And Lesnar comes out to save Heyman, or because Lesnar's going to be the face probably, maybe, or like the wishy-washy face. Or you can have Paul Heyman come out and Roman Reigns can announce that Heyman's done with Lesnar. Like Roman announces it. And Paul Heyman gets on the mic and says he's correct. There's only one tribal chief. There's only one dominant force here, and you know, that type of deal. And so then you can set up Heyman and Lesnar later on if you want to keep Heyman with Roman. Or if you want to turn Heyman and Brock pretty face, you know, you can have an angle where, you know, Roman's going to break his arm type of thing and Lesnar comes out, and you can do all that stuff. Stuff we kind of haven't seen stuff like that in a little while, I want to say.
No, and we haven't seen anything that embroiled with passion, you know, that creative.
Right. I mean, we've sort of seen stuff like that before, but we've never seen it with these guys. Like, it's interesting to me to get Heyman in the middle of it. You could go either way. You could go Heyman goes full heel and goes with Roman. Because if
we saw it before, though, with CM Punk and Lesnar.
Right. But they didn't really, they didn't break up, though, did they?
Well, yeah, because you had CM Punk beating the shit out of Heyman, you know, but Heyman broke up with CM Punk, essentially. And then that's when he did the whole, you know, he was still the face. And
yeah, so this is tough. Do you want Heyman to be the heel? Because if you want Heyman to be a heel, then he's got to do a Paul Bear. He's got to pull a Paul Bear on Lesnar. The other way you could go is that way, which is basically Paul Heyman says, listen, Roman, you know that I've loved you, and I'm so happy you brought me on. You know about how I feel about your family, and it's who would have ever thought, you know, and everything. You've been great, but
I like what Drew just said. Roman and Lesnar have them tag together and take the tag belts, and that'll play into the Usos storyline too, saying, "Look, we did what you couldn't do," and have them just wreck shop, and that's how you unify the tag belts and have only one tag team belt going forward.
No, if they would only do that, but
yeah, that's real fantasy booking.
Yeah,
but
I
still,
like that. But
I don't know what they're going to do with Brock. It seems like SummerSlam's kind of a wash at this point.
Well, I also like the idea is Heyman turning on Lesnar. Basically trying to say he's going to leave Roman.
Yeah.
And then Roman and the Usos jumping Lesnar, and then Heyman's with Roman only. They could do that too.
There's a multitude of ways they can handle it.
But you're right. Tagging them together could work too because that keeps everything together. And
people
also,
in the chat have said this a multitude of times. I'm not the only one certainly bringing this up.
But they're also Lesnar's not there a whole bunch too, so that helps with that.
Exactly, because then it becomes a spectacle again. You make it feel important.
Right. Yeah, that's not.
And it's a title that isn't needing to be on every show. You don't need to see the tag titles every time, so people will complain less. But it makes the tag titles feel super special, right?
Right. Hey,
whoever friggin' beats Roman and Lesnar for the tag titles, imagine having the Usos do that. Now that's a story. My God.
Yeah,
the Usos finally turn on Roman and they take the tag titles from Roman and Lesnar in front of fans at like Survivor Series. Could you imagine the match we would get?
That's even good too. These guys are all pretty good, man. It's the only good
there's
stuff.
so many, but this is all just fantasy stuff. We won't get anything like that. We're gonna eventually just gonna see them hold off till Lesnar comes to fight Roman. I'm sure they're not that creative at this point. What else are they gonna do with it?
That's a good point. It'll probably be
Bring
shit.
a case.
Probably be horrible.
Yeah, it'd probably be terrible.
Probably.
Maybe they should bring back Lars Sullivan. Yeah, Robin, I agree. And we can have Brock versus Lars. Now that would be great.
You want to bring back Lars Sullivan?
Hey, what's Joe and Jake? How is it going? Happy Pride Month to you all. I wanted to ask Joe if he has made the Kamala Harris Ryback Do Not Come donation yet and what dollar amount it will be. It was so funny when you made that last night. Do not come gurgle.
I have not made it yet. Did I not save it?
I have not seen this yet.
Oh, here it is.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, you're the best. Oh, you're the best. Oh God, I'm gonna explode.
Do not come.
I don't think I can hold it.
Do not come.
I gotta come.
Do not come.
Gurgle.
We did it.
We did it.
That's fucking great.
Great idea, niece loving cum face or whatever. Yeah, I didn't make it yet. Haven't made it yet, Got to get a lot more donos to work before we make another one. Appreciate that, though. I do have it, and I may make it as a dono soon. So we'll have to figure it out and see what we want to put it at. But, yeah, we like to...
You're the best.
Don't come.
Oh, you're the best.
Don't come.
Oh, God, I'm going to explode.
Do not come.
I don't think I can hold it.
Do not come.
I gotta come. Do
not come.
Yeah, it is fucking perfect.
We did
it. Oh my God, we did it. She keeps saying that she's been to the border. I love that. She hasn't been to the border. She keeps saying
I know.
I've been to the border. Why do you keep saying that? You haven't been to the border, Kamala. Why does she lie like that
So much
bad?
crazy
What is
shit.
going on? I hope
Speaking of
blow it all up.
Odd representation, Triple H at these media calls really down on the fans. First off, he was arguing that NXT talent on the main roster is never misused. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
He's like, sometimes it doesn't work out. There's a lot of factors.
He's
I understand what he's
Vince.
saying,
He's protecting
but there are
Vince.
other times people are blatantly misused.
He's protecting the boss.
I know he has to protect the company. Yeah, I get that. I know he has to protect the boss, but still, it was the ultimate stooge explanation.
Well, he
and
is
then
a
to
stooge.
hear him basically say that the fans ruin everything was not the best comment, certainly.
The night score! Sorry.
No, this is a very, 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 very long quote. I don't know if you want me to read the whole thing, but he basically goes on and on to say that, if you don't like it, don't watch, pretty much. And he's tired of people overanalyzing everything and critiquing constantly.
I get it.
And
I
in certain instances, he's right. Think about back to AEW when they announced a new wrestler coming and everybody went out of their minds and ended up being Christian because the overhype was insane.
I can tell you why. I can tell you exactly why he feels this way, and I understand. I do understand it because here's the reality. The reality is,
no one's ever happy with anything.
No, that's not it. The reality is most of the fans who are left are the most obsessed internet-type fans. They're the ones that are left. Like, there is your casual audience, but what it used to be, like, think about it. What it used to be was 75% casual audience. Or not casual, but like in a committed casual audience. 25% of those, though, would fall into that category of between obsessed and internet and watching everything and all those sort of things. So if you had, 5 million people watching WWE, about 800,000, maybe 1.2 million of them would be obsessed with probably like reviews, post shows, looking up the news, critiquing the stuff, and all that sort of thing. But right now, there's probably about 600,000 people like that. And
it's basically the NXT audience, which is almost 700,000.
Which is about half of your audience. So half of your audience enjoys critiquing the shit out of the product. And the other
they like
half,
the fantasy book. They like to, argue storyline points. They like to see who's used where, where are they going.
Right.
And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. People do it. They have fantasy leagues for football. They do it for every sport.
Right.
I don't think there's an issue with that. Yes, there are times where it does become, are the fans are their own worst enemy. But I do feel like it's those fans that keep the business going as well.
Yeah, that's great. But the problem is, like Triple H says, is all those fans are the only ones there. So, like, everybody in the crowd almost knows everything. In fact, they even know more than you think. Or they're misinformed on
things. And that's
things.
not the fans' fault, so why can they be mad at us for it?
So I get, no, my point is it makes sense to see his frustration. Like, it makes sense. Because from his point of view, all he sees are the people that care too much. There's not enough people that just love the show, don't care why, don't know why, don't care. Whatever you do is great almost. There's not enough fans that think whatever you do is great. And the reason for that, though, is their own fault. So that's the funny thing, is it's their own fault. If you had more casual fans, you'd be better off, because then you could take 80% adulation and 80% of the fans wouldn't be that offset or weird about internet stuff and rumors and critiques and things like that happen. You'd still have the same amount, if not a little bit more, but you'd have so many more compliant fans that you wouldn't feel it as much. And it's their fault that they have this, because they've lost the fans. They've only got the obsessed people.
It started happening when they started having to put up the tarp show.
Right.
It wasn't COVID. We saw this with the tarps
it has
back
nothing
in
to do
2016
with
and 2017.
COVID. Anybody that brings up COVID is an idiot, because this shit was going on. We were having these same conversations in 2019. Plus the ticket prices were dropping, plus the ratings dropped at the same amount. So no, it has nothing to do with COVID. Anybody that brings that up is a WWE dick sucker or doesn't understand anything or is like retarded or something. One of those things. Because we even said it. The minute COVID happened, we were like, oh, this is going to be an excuse where they think this is why things are going bad. When, nope, we've had proof of this every single year. We have my shitty graph that I made. It doesn't matter. COVID didn't help it. In fact, it hurt it a little bit more. It was sliding down a slope.
Yeah.
COVID pushed it a little further down the slope. But that's about it. He can hate smarts.
You specifically have been talking about this for, a long time now. Damn near 10 years, and that's long before the pandemic ever started. And Triple H had that great promo on Raw where, me and my friend Mark are going to stop watching. He's had this sentiment for a long time.
Yes.
He's definitely been outspoken against the fans to a certain extent. At least the smart crowd, certainly. He's always had a hatred for the smart fans, and I think that stems from, honestly, the curtain call.
Really? I mean, he did.
I think I think he's holding a grudge against the smarter fans, the ones that tape things and whatnot, because of what he had to deal with the curtain call.
He is a smart. He's the one that did it.
I think since then, but I think since then he's had that real kind of like inner hatred for the smart fans.
I don't think he has an inner hatred. I swear to God, I don't think he has.
For the smart fans, I think he really dislikes the smart fans. The really nitpicky nerds.
All right, like, let me just give an example. You're a magician, and you go and you do the magic tricks at the place in 1950, right? Most people are amazed, and they think you're a celebrity, a star. Children want to be like you. They want to know how to do it, and you can't tell them. They just think you're amazing and you're impressing everybody. But in the year 2010, you can still kind of do that. You can go to a local place and kind of impress everybody and everything. But there is a potential that you don't, because if you have a magic show on TV, and every week you do 5 different tricks, and then that's your show. At the end of each show, like, people start going live and talking about how you did the trick, and it's not that big a deal.
And then Magic's Greatest Secrets Revealed comes out the week after, and
yes, and everyone's just like, what a whatever, and then your audience starts shrinking. People yell out from the crowd, like, even like, you hit it in the circle
you're older now,
thing.
so your testicles are shrinking.
You hit it in the circle thing. I saw this 8 years ago, and they ruin it, and then the rest of the people don't know. It's like, it's that feeling of like, it hurt, like, Triple H's worth of what he does as a wrestler, right, and his business is hurt by people who are just able to, like me, to come on here on YouTube and talk about and critique everything, know all the lingo and all the other things. It's annoying. I understand that. Like, dude, these are things like these guys, these wrestlers and men. And by the way, it used to be more conservative men too. Now everybody's a liberal SJW. So there's this also different vibe too that's weird. I don't know. It used to be like more like right-wing, tough and gritty and kind of nasty and honestly over the line bullying. Now it's the other way, and it's like super soft and weird and cringy. And now it's like it sort of it in a way can get in your head that it devalues what you do, even though it doesn't. There's something that is there's a word I'm looking for, but
it's that constant harping. It's a nagging. It's a nitpick.
It's a
you feel undermined when everything is.
It's a conflict kind of in a way, because
it's a perpetual like negative feeling. I understand what he's saying, but he's always had this sentiment, I feel like, towards the smart fans for ages now.
Well, but he's the one that did the curtain call. I mean, doing the curtain call is the problem. Like,
exactly. And then he had to pay. But I think he had the mindset of, I shouldn't have done the curtain call. I think his mindset was, if that fucking fan didn't have a camcorder with him, so
okay,
I think he blames the fan not doing the curtain call.
Yeah, like
he doesn't ever see fault. And I'm just saying this to be a speculation, but I've seen so many interviews with him speaking, and it always seems like he has that mindset of, the smart fans ruin things, but he doesn't have to ever have any repercussions for his actions. And I've never listed Triple H as the savior of WWE. I never thought he would be the one to take us into the true new era, but I think he's certainly got more to offer than Vince.
But it's weird because he is putting...
He loves wrestling and he loves the company. He just loves to...
But he's putting on a show for the smart fans. That's the funny thing.
Exactly. Because he knows that's what would get him back over. I think he did it intentionally. I feel like Triple H is a sociopath in my mind, in the sense that he's a master, puppeteer. He's able to wear many, many masks, and no matter what scenario he's in, he can fit in very well.
No, I know. No, he's definitely...
If he's in a business setting, he works. If he's with the guys, if he's with Women's March, no matter where you put him, he's like a chameleon. He just works.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I don't know if I'm explaining.
No, I get it. I mean, listen, he lied right to Bret Hart. I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Bret Hart's
He'll
wife.
say anything to everyone to yes them to death. He is an ultimate bullshitter.
Salesman. He's a big salesman. I know. You're right.
So no doubt, but I feel like that's his.
But I think he's also genius. I think he's also been a bit genius and done a really good job.
Very smart.
I mean, like, his creativity has been great in NXT.
But a lot of people also say DX ruined wrestling. Louis 420 just said he ruined wrestling, and some people have said this a while ago.
Why?
That did DX, change things too far? I've never believed this sentiment. And then some people also say that, it was Triple H's reign of terror that ruined wrestling, and I don't believe that either. It certainly made it, less desirable to watch, and fans tuned out in droves. No doubt about it. They lost a great deal of their fans, sponsorships, ratings. All of that because of Triple H's reign of terror, but I don't think that's entirely to blame either.
I don't think so either, but I think Stone Cold Steve Austin going off TV and Stone Cold Steve Austin being flipped into a weird heel at the time, I think that was a big problem. I think that
was a huge issue. He should have called an audible and, like you said, stun Vince. Absolutely.
And the other thing about that too, and oh man, that would have been huge. The other thing about that too is, when Austin left, they tried to push a new generation was taking over. People don't really talk about that enough, that the new generation took over, and Triple H, who had been a a B-plus player, let's say, really became the guy in place of Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, and even I think The Rock was injured or something, or whatever at that time. But The Rock wasn't gone for too long. But
well, here's what it was. All at once, Joe, this kind of like vacuum happened where kind of like what, WrestleMania 20? The Rock went back to Hollywood. Stone Cold is no longer heel or anything.
Well,
He's
this
just
was
not
before.
wrestling.
That's way after.
No,
that.
I know, but I'm saying like at that time too, there was that second point where Triple H had a resurgence. So you already had one reign of terror building to then.
Well, Cena really.
And then you had another one when everybody finally left for good. So yeah, when you had Austin taking his ball and going home, The Rock originally went to Hollywood, and you kind of had a change of guard, and some of the new guys were coming up. Triple H fell into that position just because he had seniority, but he wasn't certainly the best. And he was married to the boss's daughter. He was in a good position booking-wise as well.
I think Triple H, strangely enough, Triple H gets better. Something about his mystique and legend grew and grows as he gets older. And he got bigger and bigger as he got older. If that makes any sense. I don't know why. And Triple H did fall into that category a little bit of like every time.
But Shawn, I feel like, got better too as time went on.
In a way, but Triple H was different to me. Like Triple H, like Shawn Michaels hit a crescendo of top guy at one point, and then kind of came back down to being a top guy, but not the guy. Triple H sort of kept missing almost his chance because every time Triple H almost got caught in the way of like, okay, now it's Triple H's time. Oh, but The Rock is the biggest thing now. Okay, The Rock's gonna go. Now it's Triple H's time, but wait, Brock Lesnar is here now. Oh, now it's Triple H's time, but now Cena becomes really popular. So, but Triple H did get in there. He did get his time in there, as he should have. But I just think he's become that top guy, like in a way in the last, not now, but like, back when he was facing Daniel Bryan and stuff like that. And when he faced John Cena for the title, that was big. When he faced John Cena in 22, Triple H felt like this is the guy, and Cena's the only other one that could oppose him, and Cena was the top face at the time. So yeah, I don't know, it's interesting, man. I like Triple H a lot. There's obviously flaws. I think I see, maybe even some of the same flaws I have in Triple H, but I think Triple H, I think he's great. I think he's just talking shit because he is frustrated a little bit, and I don't mind that. I'm just trying to look at it from his perspective. I know from our perspective, you're gonna get mad at Triple H and say like, "How fucking dare you?" Fucking like, "Oh, you're gonna blame the fans." But what it is the answer is both are correct. Number one,
yeah, exactly. That's why I didn't lambaste him and be like, "Oh, you're an asshole for saying this," because he's not. But
well, no, I get his perspective, but what he
he's
doesn't
not
understand,
wrong.
what he does probably understand or doesn't. I don't know if he does, but I think he does. Is that obviously most of this is coming from them? Like they can't grow the audience big enough, so they're left with the most obsessed fans. They're left with the most critical fans. Your most critical, obsessed, and smart fans are the only ones left almost. The casuals aren't watching NXT. So the casual fans that you could just put anything out there and they buy it, some of them even think it's real still for some reason. Those people are watching WWE Raw and SmackDown. Your smartest fans are going to be the most annoying to you because they're so smart they just won't fucking stop breaking everything down and dissecting it all and spoiling it and going over it. And I'm sorry, but that's your fan base. That's the problem. So you got to be smarter than the smarts. And you are a lot of times doing that. So you should be proud of himself because a lot of times they outsmart the smarks a lot of times. But what it doesn't allow you to do is sit down and relax a little bit unless you're ready for criticism or to be like, oh, wow, they already know. I tried to do something and fuck, they already know. They're already all over the internet with it. And
yeah, exactly. They already figured out who's doing what, who's being booked where. Exactly.
And I get that. It's super frustrating. But again, you're working with the top smart of the smarks. Anyway, that's really about it with there. Let's go to the donos and see what you guys are. Shit bomb! The Soundwave 92.
You become a shit bomb.
Triple H's comments today on fans was basically don't like it, don't watch it. Pretty sure the guy who had a reign of terror on Raw in the early 2000s that drove away viewers shouldn't try to tempt that thought any further.
That's funny. That's what we were just talking about. But yeah, Soundwave, thank you, man, for being the top dono so far, dude. Yeah, I mean,
making a great point.
going back to that, I mean, I don't. Who doesn't like it? Who is he talking about? Like, what made him say don't like it, don't watch it? I mean, his audience.
I mean, that's really what he said, though, in his quote. He's like, do you not like it? He's like, do you like it or do you not like it? Do you have to say, I like it, but I like this other thing more? Or I like it, but I don't like it as much? He's like, just watch it or don't and stop trying to figure out where everything goes. So that's his direct quote.
Well,
he's telling people, watch it or don't and just shut up.
Well, and it doesn't make any sense because, like, the people are watching. You're not losing viewers or gaining them. Neither one.
Exactly.
You're
that's
literally
the baffling part.
So, I mean, it sounds like to me he's not saying don't watch it. He's saying just watch it, but be quiet.
That's his point. But he's like, if you're going to talk, then don't watch. He said the fans ruin their own stuff half the time trying to figure out where everything goes and why it's going there and how to try and pick up the phone and search for the thing to find out what it is that can ruin it for them so they're not surprised when it happens. I don't understand that. I'm thrilled with what the brand is. I'm happy with where it is. Do I want to get better? Yes. Do I want to grow? Yes. Do I want to expand? Yes. And I get what he's saying, but not everybody's, even the fans that are here tonight, you know, and the smart fans all around the world that are watching are not looking up every spoiler and every, you know, they just because they want to know, hey, you know, what booking decisions are coming. Oh, you're going to put these two together. That's great. We don't want to know the outcome, but we like knowing that you're going to use people or these people have a guaranteed future in the business. That's at least rewarding for the people that are fans of them. I think the problem is everybody's
a reporter. Like, that's the problem. Like, I mean, listen, I can't help myself. This is what I do, but I've been doing it for 10 years. But almost all the fans do it. And so, in a way, I get what he's saying because everybody thinks they're a fucking reporter. Like, oh, well, let me ask you this question, Triple H. Why haven't you used this guy or the other guy? I mean, that'd be like if the reporters are asking questions of a manager of a baseball team, and he's like, yeah, I mean, don't watch it. Don't. How are you going to use Marvin next week? I don't know.
But he even says in his quote, he said, again, people will take this line, use it out of context. And he's right. They will.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to.
And he's like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I'm not here to make the brand that's around for a few more years or a few minutes. I want this to be long term, you know, and he's right about that. So,
yeah,
I absolutely agree with him in that sense. But I don't like the full on, attack that comes along at times. So,
I don't know if it was an attack. I think it was a passive aggressive. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to do anything. All right.
Semantics aside, yeah.
And which I don't know if that's good or bad we used to have Rose on the show. I mean, that guy criticized my show since 2015. I literally found a clip the other day of it. It's like that guy was on my shows all the time. But yeah. he would always create a sideshow somewhere and then say my show was dying. Like
it sucked or it wasn't what it used to be.
Like in 2015, Rose was like doing a show with Graham or something, and he was like, monetize this isn't what it used to be. It's terrible. And then in 2016, he did it again, and then he was on the show, and then he did it again in 2017. Then he did it again in 2019. And now he still does it now or something. It's been like 7 years of the guy just being like, you know, and you just want to say, don't watch then. It's not hard to just turn it off. I mean, you didn't like 5 different iterations of my show. Are you ever going to like it? You know, what are you talking about? You just like it when you're on.
And it also seemed like the media calls question at that point, listening back to it now, kind of annoyed Triple H as well because it was very long and drawn out. So,
yeah, maybe he got mad. Maybe he was just sick of answering. Maybe it didn't go the way he thought it was going to go, and he was like, "Oh."
I don't think so either because he was heavily focused on just saying like NXT is here to stay. NXT is here to stay. Like that was his point of the day. Like it's not just developmental. It's its own brand. He's working hard with everyone. So,
I think he's got a little bit right, but I think obviously he's doing something. He's doing all right, but here's the problem is when he's done a really damn good job, you know, they don't have many more viewers than now. You know, they had about how many people were watching NXT and they're like, let's say the heyday, right? Because we're at the point now where we can say that. It's not quite what it used to be. Like the first, 4 years, the first 4 or 5 years of NXT was phenomenal. It started out good. It got better and better and better and better, and it was just awesome for like 4 years. It really, I think we gave the pandemic really hurt them too, because we gave the NXT takeovers the lowest ratings we'd ever given in the pandemic.
Well, especially in the pandemic, but there was another problem I think that people forgot before then, and that was the transitional period that wasn't happening. We weren't turning over stars at that point anymore, and everyone in NXT had been there for a very long time. Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano. Johnny's been there for what, like 6 years at this point?
Yeah.
And instead of we were having this changeover, we're Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe and Finn Balor and Nakamura. Like we're like, all right, we got all these guys, and they go up. You know, Adrian Neville and Sami Zayn, and they go up. And then we had this set of the Undisputed Era, and you know, and they didn't go up. And they bet, and so Johnny Gargano, The Way, pretty much most of the people at this point, they're starting to build and bring up some new people, especially, you know, they're very protective of Karrion Kross, but it's just like we didn't see a changing of the guard at all. And we would see people introduced like Pat McAfee, but he gets beat, he's gone. You know, we got 2 great matches out of him, no doubt, but he's unfortunately gone. You know, so anytime we got a good injection of character, it didn't seem to last either. They have a lot of great wrestling, but they're starting to get better on the character side, and that's because they're not focused on AEW currently. They're back to focusing on themselves.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to with their dead 400 something rating.
Yeah, you know, they had 496, I think it was, or you know, it was 460 something maybe. I don't have it in front of me, but it was terrible. We were discussing it the other day, and then even, you know, AEW drew almost 700,000. So
yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy.
NXT, I meant to say NXT.
AEW beat NXT 90% of the time. Well, they hit 700, 800,000, and then they started going up into the 900s and millions. And now we're on Fridays. They're
but I said this to you when
crazy low.
Yeah, people went ahead and said I was crazy back when Rampage was first announced, and I said they're going to have it 10 o'clock on Friday, and I feel like that's a bad idea.
Yeah,
and people were like, "Oh, that's stupid." I was like, I would have had it on Tuesday night, you know, after. Oh, it doesn't work now because NXT is there. So, all right, we got to figure out another. Well, you're kind of screwed. That's the week. I get it, but I do it on Thursday and say screw Impact at this point, because people could at least could do that, because there's, you know, that Impact essentially isn't televised unless you have access. Most people don't. It's, you know, basically on Twitch at this point. But long and short of it is the fact that they're no one's going to lead in for a 3-hour show, and they're showing that clearly right now. People are watching SmackDown. 2 million people are watching SmackDown, and then 400,000 are watching AEW. And I guess they found that only a very, 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 very small portion of people that watched SmackDown tuned in for AEW. So it really doesn't even matter. Their original thought was, oh, people will leave SmackDown and then tune in for the 3rd hour of wrestling on TNT. Well, they're not even watching Dynamite, which is the main show. And now you're expecting them to watch your secondary show when you already have 2 YouTube shows as is. I don't see how the ratings are going to work for this new show.
Well, I think the new ratings are going to work, that they're going to get 300,000 viewers.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to have to do? Like leave some major cliffhanger on Dynamite to build to that show every week? And that's not going to work.
I don't know. I'm really depressed about AEW, to be honest. Their ratings, at least.
I am as well, and it's disappointing, but they're kind of reaping what they're sowing at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah, NXT.
I think when they go back on the road, it's going to help them out drastically as well. Same thing with WWE. Everybody needs to get, you know, back on the road in front of live fans.
Unfortunately, again. NXT was better on the network, and who would have? I mean,
it's because it was 1 hour and it was focused and it wasn't live.
Sometimes it was a little sloppy because it was just thrown together like this weird thing. I think it is. They put more into it now, no doubt about it. But with the commercials, that bugs me. But AEW is the only thing that pretty much excites me. And I watch SmackDown, and it's all right, and the Roman stuff is good. I praise that.
That's really the only really good thing on SmackDown. And they sprinkle it in so much that it feels like SmackDown overall is really good. But lately, if you look, SmackDown's not been that great, but the Roman stuff has been exceptional. That's really what it lies down to. And I mean, I want AEW to succeed. I like the idea of competition. Raw can't get rid of the third hour, even if they wanted to, due to obligations with sponsors. They already have every hour of television is almost taken up by 19 minutes of commercials. So they have to basically have an hour of commercials for a 3-hour showing of Raw. And so you only get 2 hours of Raw as is. So essentially they can't book a full 2-hour show.
Right.
It's sad. And if it was 2 hours, it would only be an hour and 20 minutes. So they have 40 minutes extra to book. They can't book a full 2-hour show. But if they got rid of that third hour, they would have to add 2 additional commercial breaks per hour, so for one commercial break per each half an hour or 2 per hour. That would be insane. They would barely get any wrestling. So I understand why they're stuck with the third hour due to their obligations with sponsors. But that third hour is killing Raw. It's going to surely be a problem for AEW after SmackDown. And, unless people just don't watch SmackDown and head right into AEW, they better give them a reason to.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I just, the whole thing's depressing. Let's go to the comments while I think about what to say about this.
See what everybody has to say.
Brandon, thank you for subbing to the channel. Appreciate it. What's going on? I hope you wet yourself every single night, brother. What's going on? We got more coming in. Oh. Oh!
It's true the IWC can be its own worst enemy. But WWE have been shooting themselves in the foot for years, and Lesnar at this point wouldn't do anything to move ratings with how bad they have plummeted.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what the problem is. They're the most passionate. They're the ones left. And not even, there's a lot of them that are gone. There's a lot of IWC, YWC, fucking internet people, and smarks that are gone. There's still a lot of people that are gone, or that went to just AEW or whatever. So there are a lot of people that are gone. Soundwave 92, no doubt about it. And that's the thing, is you're left with mostly all people that care too much.
You all were talking about a Cold War or cyber war between world powers like USA, China, Russia. I'm here to tell you that all of this is being coordinated by Bullfrog. He's spreading an ideology known as niece-loving fascism.
Oh,
he
my
believes
God.
in it to his bones.
I mean,
Jesus.
that was a rough one there. Wow, Bullfrog's niece, what is she doing? She's the one doing all this behind the scenes. Oh, my God. Need to bore people? Triple H is really going to... really not going to be happy. I mean, when he finds out what I say about him. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, listen, I don't know. I knew this was going to be news all day.
I was on the Great Ones YouTube video today. The one with Ryback. I can't believe he actually put a clip of me donating to Ryback. My donation was about Brock Lesnar being a farmer. I have a joke. What are the Mexicans' favorite sport? Cross country.
Oh, my God, Pacharo. You can't believe it? I mean, I was just talking to him the other day. We were talking about Ryback, how funny he is. I've known Grey One for a long time. So he's been, I've known him since he had 20,000 subs or something.
I was going to say, you were talking to him ages ago.
Yeah, we still talk. And we were DMing this morning, and I'm like, dude, you're really wearing him out like bad. Like, because he thinks I'm a problem. I have a tiny little community over here. I'm like, his fucking community is really raging on him. Like, it's bad. Someone donated, someone donated that me and him would kick Ryback's ass or something. And it was on the video, and I was laughing. Where is it, actually? Hold on a minute. I'll find it because it's funny. But I don't know. And by the way, I know it's someone from our community because the name had Mon at the end of it. Like, so I was
That's
like,
funny.
oh my God. Oh, here it is.
He was born and raised out on a farm.
Where is it?
Farmer Brock Lesnar. I'm not.
That's here's Pacharo's. This is what he's talking about. So here's Pacharo's donation to Ryback. People are still attacking Ryback for Ryback being a dickhead.
I'm familiar with the Ultimate Farmer Brock Lesnar. I know Brock Lesnar's is definitely he was born and raised out on a farm, right?
Born, raised, and still lives in one, and he's quite successful, Ryback. I think you should join us. You're all working out in your gyms and stuff. The real workout is actually working in a farm. That is a real workout and a better way to build muscle.
Now, I don't know where it is, but I swear to God it was in here. And I saw it and I was laughing because I was like, oh my God, that's definitely like some kind of JCS inside joke donation. Or it's like one of the trolls. I saw the name, was like, that's a troll, no doubt about it. Oh, here it is. This is fucking hilarious.
It does. Even Nia loves them, Bobby.
Look at the name. Everyone lies, Mon. I mean, is that Scott?
It might be.
Everyone lies, Mon.
It very well could be.
Joe Cronin in the Great One versus Ryback, and now look at Ryback stare at it.
He just stares intently.
That's really, really sad.
Any thoughts on
Oh, the Great One pulled that one out. Funny as fuck. He knew the reference too. He was like, "That's your alien friend," or that's what that reference is. So it's funny. So that's probably why he clipped it. But that's too funny. But yeah, poor Ryback is just getting lit up. You know, poor guy.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, leave him alone. You know.
Speaking of former WWE employees, apparently we're going to see more contracts being let go soon with more firings.
Yeah,
WWE wants to cut back on those contracts that they made prior to AEW being launched, when they started signing everybody to these massive, long-term, high-paying deals. Anybody with those contracts left better watch out.
You better look out, or you'll be just like me, fucking reviewing your own Amazon products. So people
I would
will
have
buy
to
them.
go back and think who's left with a top contract that would go, but more is coming, and this has been said by many at this point.
We sort of cautiously, right, said this. I even tweeted it. I said, like, definitely seems like something else is happening, but I don't, can't confirm that. But everybody has hinted at this everywhere. Even the shitty, even the shitty to the pretty accurate people, like sometimes accurate people. No one's really pretty accurate, but the sometimes accurate people even hinted at this. And so it's something that seems like has legitimacy. It seems like within the next 30 days, we're going to see a few more leave, whether that's one person, 10 people, I don't know. But it definitely feels like it's something that really could happen. So, well, yeah, and like you said, now it's back again. The rumor's back again, which is makes you wonder if whatever. I don't know that there's.
We also got an interesting update yesterday from Mike Johnson on PW Insider. He said that we are told Wyatt has been purposely kept off TV. It is not a case of him having heat for anything. He is very well liked. The Randy Orton match at Mania went 100% as planned.
Yeah, it went as planned after they planned it like fucking retardedly a week before, probably.
Well, they said they changed it day of to plans that reflected Bray leaving, but it's funny how they don't even bring up Bray at all now whatsoever, or the Fiend. I mean, that's what created Alexa and gave her these air quote powers, and now yikes, he's not even mentioned. It's just Alexa. She's it. So you hear rumors about him now being purposely kept off TV. It's not, we heard at one point he was depressed because of Brody Lee's passing. That's believable, but we never had that confirmed. And the only thing we know is we have not seen him since WrestleMania, and it's definitely being said that he's intentionally being kept off. So it's not an injury of any sort. So yeah, weird. Jeff Hardy, Keith Lee, Baron Corbin, Liv Morgan. Those are the ones with those big contracts. So I could see Liv Morgan, Baron Corbin, Keith Lee, and Jeff Hardy all being let go, honestly. I could see them letting all four of them go.
Seems like they're not worried anymore. It seems like they were super worried for a time of AEW.
They were extremely worried of AEW, and they were trying to lock down everybody. They didn't want AJ and the Good Brothers and anybody leaving. So we're just and they put these high deals out. Braun was getting 1.2 million, and then supposedly it's a lie. He says now, but the people that say he's not lying, they're sticking to their report. So PW Insider said that Braun Strowman was allegedly demanding a 5-figure booking fee for appearances.
So
that's crazy. No one's ever charged that much for an indie promotion. I mean, that's insane. You want anywhere between, a little less than $100,000 per appearance. Braun now says, this isn't true. This is ridiculous. I have not spoken to anyone about any bookings, but if you want to talk business, the email to my agent is in my bio. Thank you for any confusion you may be reading online. But the person at PW Insider, when they were reporting this, was also saying that it is not fabricated, because this was literally being reported as speaking to Braun's agent. So I don't know what's true, but just interesting to take apart all the facts there. They're saying, yeah, Braun maybe didn't speak to anybody about any bookings, but your agent did, and your agent said you wanted upwards of almost $100,000.
Jesus.
So take it as it may. We'll see what's true. But Braun saying he hasn't spoken to anybody. The people that were trying to hire him for their federation are saying, yes, we spoke to his agent, not Braun. So the AOP, Authors of Pain, Akam, Razor.
Right, this is big.
We have
people shit on him for weeks
from them, and for quite some time now. And then recently, Fightful was saying that it looked like someone had told that they were retired. And then when this report went out, they went on Instagram, both of them, and said, "We ain't done yet, bitches," posting a picture of them together with it's like, wow, let's see it. So
they're not
Paul
done.
Ellering's with them, and
all the rumors were they're
the camera
retiring.
For War Games, I believe. So they are not retired, and they're saying that, although they were released in September of last year, they say, we're not done yet, bitches. So I'm happy to see that that's the case, that they're okay. And because we didn't know what had happened, really. We knew they got released, but there was weird injuries beforehand, and they came back, then they were gone, then they came back again. It was a very perplexing time. So thankfully they're okay, and they're back.
Well, I hope everybody knows to tune in tomorrow night, because we're going to be watching all of SmackDown. Then last week I did a little drinking game, so tomorrow night I may be doing that again. I may be drinking. Last week it was the biggest thing was if Jericho said shit, I took 8 shots. So, and it almost happened. So
almost
Friday night, tomorrow night, obviously monetize this has moved to Saturday nights. Obviously, the last 5 weeks or 4 weeks have been monetized this Saturday night. But Friday night, tomorrow, we're going to have the SmackDown review briefly. Not a big SmackDown review, but a little quick one. Leading into, of course, watching AEW and reacting to that. And having a little drinking game surrounding AEW. So hang with us tomorrow night live for that. And then potentially Corrupted or whatever we do. And then Saturday night will be monetize this as well. And Patreon, I'm gonna have some more podcasts up on that. I've got my big podcast I recorded today going up tomorrow, which is Meant to Offend, and it's just me being a fucking psycho. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. And Triple H, man, he's a scumbag. No, I'm just kidding. I like Triple H, and maybe we can get him on the show someday. Like Cody came on, why can't we get Triple H?
Absolutely. Speaking of Triple H, I mean, Aleister Black's still talking to everybody at this point. Loose lips sink ships, but he goes ahead and he's on Renee's Oral Sessions podcast. And he basically made a great point saying that Triple H oversees everything. The entire vision is Triple H's for NXT. So when you get to the main roster, even though Triple H has people working with him, he communicates with everyone and shares his vision one-on-one with the talent. Vince doesn't do that, and Vince doesn't follow NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So when Vince gets these people like an Aleister Black or a Ricochet, he's like, great, what do I do with you now? Because he's never seen them before. He knows nothing about them, nothing about their character, and no one puts him up to speed. Why, I don't know. So this is all on Vince because that's how he likes it. He says, where do I place you? And Aleister says it's kind of, that's when you lose it because it takes too long for people to be placed. And I get that. That's what happened immediately with Ricochet. He just kind of floated. Then you made him say stupid shit, and he faded to the wayside. Aleister Black, you didn't do anything with. You didn't know what to do with him. So, and that happens again and again. And it's unfortunate, but they don't know what to do with these people when Vince gets them.
Yeah. Well,
Kyle O'Reilly said that his sister was frantic because he didn't get to contact her first, and she just heard on the internet he was very, very sick or injured when we thought he had that seizure at NXT that ended up being just a sell job.
Yep.
Remember weeks and weeks ago?
Yeah, we thought it was real.
His sister was losing her mind, and unfortunately, he couldn't get a hold of her right away, but kind of funny there. Leo Rush is done with pro wrestling. It was very sad to hear this. He injured his shoulder at AEW, separated it entirely, and while taking some time off, he, couldn't do things around the house, couldn't pick up his child, and eventually it just kind of got to him, and he felt like I've done enough at this point.
New Japan's like, thanks, AEW.
Yeah, basically. So he still has to finish up a few New Japan dates when he is back fully healthy.
What?
But besides that, he's not taking any more bookings because he's contractually obligated to do so. He has to finish those. But once those go through, he's done. I reached out to him a bit back and forth. I said, I wish you the best of luck and thank you for what you did. But that's so disheartening to see him finally get this opportunity. My question to you is, do you think it has anything to do with Mark Henry also being added to AEW the same weekend?
I mean, maybe he's kind of a bitter, and but also, Mark Henry shit on him. I think there's...
Yeah, because Mark Henry was going to sue him, remember? Said he was going to sue Leo Rush for what he said. Because Leo Rush had all that backstage heat, as you had addressed before as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it came because he didn't want to carry the veterans' bags. He felt like, I don't have enough money to... His main complaint was, I don't have enough money to pay for the hotels or the rental cars that I need to get from place to place. And I'm supposed to carry your bags, So I understood what he was saying. He wasn't being paid shit, and they expected more from him. It's not that, but he was young too. He was very young at the time. He went straight from Ring of Honor right in.
Now he's gonna carry the bags again, even though he's a dad.
Exactly. So
he's like, fuck this.
I loved his ability in the ring, and I saw such star potential in him, and it's unfortunate that this is the way it worked out. So he was good on the mic. And that certainly is something he credits WWE for when they paired him with Bobby Lashley. I agree, because he wasn't much of a talker before then.
Hasn't he retired already like 3 times?
Not that I'm aware of.
This is the second or third time he said he's retired, I believe. I swear to God.
You might be right, but
I think he's
just
a head
not
case.
aware of it.
I honestly believe he's a psycho.
Hey,
did you see?
I don't know of him retiring before. I know he had some of the music stuff out. But...
I mean, it could be the veterans are dicks. I mean, I don't know, but it could be these younger guys. The older guys used to have all these things they had to do, and now the younger guys are like, I'm not doing that. Fuck you. I don't know. Maybe he was mad. But he's like, I'm here, and now fucking everybody's here. That fucking Mark Henry's here. Like, man, fuck this. Like, fuck this place.
And especially with Mark Henry, threatening to sue him, it could have just been like, I'm done.
And now he hurts himself.
And now Mark Henry's already criticizing AEW. He's saying, that they have too much repetition in matches. He said, wrestling-wise, I want to see less. Everyone does too much. They with all Stallman will do a tope.
No shit,
and then
Mark.
The next
If you
match we'll
watch
have
the
2
fucking
topes,
product,
and then we'll have 3. He's like, stop. Everyone's got to stop trying to outdo what you saw before and do your own thing. And it's not that he's not wrong, but Christ,
they've been doing this for
God,
over a year.
You just got hired. Should you really be nitpicking the company that you're working for?
Well, JR does it.
I guess that makes him real, and he's saying it when he speaks, but I don't know. He's like, I love the Young Bucks doing super kicks, but why are there matches on the card where someone does a super kick before them? If that was me, I would be upset. We've always said that, they there's a bunch of moves that aren't special when they should be, but
I don't know. It doesn't. It's true. Some of the things they do are a mess. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But again, it's so much better than WWE that I just don't care. Like, I'd rather watch the car fire. It's not, AEW is kind of fucking wrestling up, but WWE is killing wrestling. So it's like, which one would you rather? I don't know which one I would rather see. It's like, would you rather watch a guy, do all the right? It's like, would you rather watch Mayweather box and win every time, or would you rather watch 2 guys with no ability slug at each other? It's like you'd probably almost watch 2 guys slug at each other. Like you'd almost rather watch two guys in a backyard boxing for real because they're mad at each other than watch a Mayweather boxing match because you're just like, this is going to be boring. Like, he's just going to hide and then it's going to end and fuck this. And that's what WWE is to me. And AEW to me is a fucking train wreck, and it's fun to watch the train wreck.
But speaking of AEW being a train wreck, they're finally doing something right because they're going to defend the Impact titles at Daly's place on June 11th. That's right. Tonight, it was announced tonight, Against All Odds 2021 will be from Daly's place. Excuse me. So June 11th, they announced it. But that'll be coming up, in August. And then when is Slammiversary? The 17th
of July.
Announced the match between Moose and Omega will go on to face Sami Callihan. Whoever wins that is Slammiversary on the 17th. So that's pretty cool.
Jake, we can watch Me Box. Look at this. You remember this? Let's just watch Me Box. Look at this.
Dope, baby.
By the way, I'm wearing a fishnet shirt, I believe.
Oh my god. I don't want to fight him.
Now, I could have killed my friend right here. Like, he could have been dead. Ooh, I pulled that punch. I could have killed him right there.
I don't want to fight
Ooh! Ooh, poo, almost got him. Oh, man, that should have knocked us both out. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, you want some of Cronin? You want some of Cronin, Jake Paul? You want some of Cronin? Boom! You want... Fucking Jake hated it so much he took off. Anyway, guys, listen.
Double knockout.
Yeah, it should have been a double knockout. But
anything... What about Matt Cardona? That shit was great.
Okay, probably the best heel move of the year.
I mean, he comes out, he does the Moxley swagger. Everyone thinks
me off.
It's him. He hits the paradigm shift, and then nothing.
Now, can we show that? Because I've been tweeting it for the last couple of days, but I don't know if I can show it.
Everybody else is... usually, GCW doesn't have a problem with it, so...
I wouldn't think so, because it's also a fan camera has gotten it. But most people saw it.
And they're happy about the press. I was actually trying to set up something with them, but didn't hear back in an email yet. So, hopefully.
Let me see here.
It was just funny. I'm here for the GCW championship. They need a face that has teeth, all this stuff. He's making fun of Nick Gage nonstop.
Well, here's the altered version of it, but close enough, fuck it. But for the people that didn't see it, I mean, it's the best heel move of the year. These people thought fucking Jon Moxley was coming out, and it wasn't him. Great stuff. I don't think Zack Ryder quite knows how to move the right way. He kind of looks like a ghost instead of...
Yeah, a bit of a ghoul, but he did it. And people, they bought it. They believed it.
Yeah, because you wouldn't expect somebody to, like, mock
a great Death Rider, too. He hit it nice.
Watch the...
Once they realize it's not him,
oh
they
my
look
God.
around.
The crowd's like, yeah, and it turns from yeah to ooh. Oh, it's great. Listen to the crowd again. The crowd goes from yeah to ooh, like it just gets
and then hearing everybody yell "Fuck you, Ryder! Fuck you, Ryder!"
Yeah, it was a really
"Fuck you, Ryder! Fuck Zack Ryder!"
Yeah, that video actually clips out that part, but that was good too. And then,
yeah, he's gonna get beat up with a ripped apart with a pizza cutter. Yeah,
oh, here it is.
What heat. I love it. Biff Raiden, yeah.
Biff Raiden's in the house, yeah.
That's right, Packer. Neo the one.
See, they don't even know his new name that is Matt Cardona. So it's so bad that they don't even know it. So if he had made himself,
well, he did
Biff
the
Raiden,
Zack Ryder fingers, the
Right.
Rough Rider thing. You know, he goes for his zigzag type finisher.
But
Whatever the hell it
they
was,
don't
Rough
know
Rider.
Matt Cardona. They don't know.
No, I
fucking-
guarantee they didn't know either.
Be
But
Biff
still,
Raiden.
it's just the point.
Come on, are you listening, Matt?
I think it was supposed to piss him off, though.
Fuck, I
calling
should have
Zack
told
Ryder.
I should have told EC3 when I was talking to him. Actually, you know what? I got his fucking number now. I'm gonna text EC3 and tell him Matt needs to change his name to Biff Raiden. Biff Raiden. Yeah.
And
So
see, I don't like those. I'm not a fan of GCW really. I don't like the light tube matches. It doesn't do anything for me. But I am curious to see what the hell happens now. What are they going to do? Is he actually going to have a full blown death match?
Oh my god, dude!
Are they going to whip out the pizza cutter and ruin Matt Cardona's face?
The chat's got me going on this. Watch this, dude.
No, I know.
Watch this.
They're so funny.
Oh, look at this, dude. Oh my god, bro.
The Rough Rider.
Wait a second, there's a individual in the ring! Wait a second, is that? I've seen this before! Oh my god, it's... Can it be? Can it be John? Can it be... Wait a minute! Wait a minute! That's Biff Raiden! No! No, Biff Raiden is here in GCW! I thought it was somebody else, but it's Biff Raiden. Good God Almighty, it's Biff Raiden.
It's so good.
Biff Raiden, that's the best name ever, man. I should fucking hit up EC3 again. Like, you gotta tell him he's gotta be Biff Raiden. By the way, that match was kind of fun to watch, that movie thing that EC3 did with him. That was good. I liked it.
It was interesting. It was. I liked the narration.
Yeah. Yes.
That was so unique. I was like, this is really
like,
something.
50% of the time the narration was just like whatever it was, like describing, okay, whatever. But like the other 50%, they would hit you with this really interesting, like, oh, that was interesting. Like, I like that.
And especially the way it was done, because it added so much, and you were waiting for commentary, but then instead you have him narrating the whole thing, and it was just a really unique, weird feel, but it worked out.
It was like you were watching National Geographic wrestling. The lion would stop to smother its pride with milk.
And then
shit bomb. Very, very strange. You become a shit bomb. Whoa.
President Joe Biden is one of the smartest people on earth.
I mean, maybe he's been in office for 45 years. He's convinced people to keep keeping him in politics, even though he's a psycho racist weirdo. So maybe
speaking of weirdos, Nick Gage, you can't even spell Cardona because he spelt it wrong entirely. I don't know if that was intentional as an insult or if he's just that retarded, but Matt Cardona went on Busted Open Radio and was just completely trashing Nick Gage the entire time, saying, oh, he can't spell, he can't type. I don't know if he responded to me on Twitter because I couldn't understand it anyways.
Damn, that's crazy.
So he was tearing Nick apart, and Nick is going to cut him up. You know, he's like, keep running your mouth, Cardano. Wrong
McDonald's.
name. I'll be seeing you soon. Watch your back, pussy. MDK, because he's a real badass. Go rob another bank.
Please change your name to Biff Raiden. Biff
He should be
Raiden.
Nick Cage now. I like Nick Cage.
I don't
better
even
than
know who
Cage.
Nick Cage is, but I'm getting annoyed hearing about
Watch
him.
the Dark Side of the Ring thing. It sums him up greatly. He's a
hate
wrestler
him.
that almost died in the death. Well, technically he did die. He died in the death match, and they had to helicopter him out of there. And the Tournament of Death, he was that guy.
Okay. No,
He was the one that the light tube
So he's
struck
an
the
idiot.
artery in his arm, and he bled out to death. Yeah. He just does all the quote-unquote garbage wrestling, the death matches.
Right.
And then he went and he was hooked on drugs and out of money and robbed a bank and went to jail for a while, came out, was really well set up by the fans that missed him, and went right back into wrestling as a huge hero. People loved him, and he was a drug addict, fucked up again, went back to jail for the rest of the time, got out like a year or two ago, and has been back in wrestling. So
wow.
That's a short story of the drunken drug addict. What does Cornette call him? The bank addicted, drug robbing asshole?
I don't know. I guess, he sounds like it to me. I haven't heard of him, though, really. Other than I hear about him every second, but I don't know who he is. But, yeah.
He's riding the wave of the Dark Side of the Ring thing, but that wasn't really a good story. I mean, it made him look like shit, so.
I used to worry about, I got pile driven through glass, and I used to think, watching the matches back, the backyard matches back, when I would pile drive most people through it myself. No, I wouldn't go in it. But most of the time I would throw someone through a pane of glass or a window or something. And I started watching the videos, and when I look at them now, I'm like, man, that could have been horrible.
An inch the wrong way.
Well, because the glass would break, and it goes like this, and it's like, what if it had gone into the ground stuck up, and they're just gone through somebody? Like,
that's what happened to Nick, actually. He went ahead and he went over the top rope, came down, and the light tube had broken half, and it was a jagged piece, and it stabbed him right into the underarm like this. So he had it in his hand, it went down, it stabbed him in the arm.
Ugh.
And he lost, like, I think he said 4 pints of blood in 10 minutes, something like that.
Oh, my God.
By the time they got him in the helicopter, he was almost out of blood. He died. They brought him back to life a couple of times, and I mean, but he died in the actual Tournament of Death, so that got him very famous very quickly. Then he had his MDK, Murder, Death, Kill Gang. That's what he calls his fans and followers.
Okay.
The Dark Side is a great watch, always. Those guys, great producers over there. They tell a hell of a story, but it's a very depressing watch. I mean, it's just a bunch of meth addicts.
Well, that's what I'd like. That's what I'd like to do, is just be more depressed and watch.
Yeah. You don't want to make yourself sad, so
I'd like to do
Cat
it.
Mardona.
Can I cut myself while watching it?
Well, I think Nick Gage is definitely going to cut up Matt Cardona. I mean, he already whipped out the pizza cutter, and I'm not kidding. Look at what he did to David Arquette. Do you remember that? This is the guy that made David Arquette damn near bleed to death too. So
I saw that match. So that's him. Okay, I get it.
Yeah, that's Nick Gage. There you go. That's what I probably should have led with.
Maybe, yeah, because I did.
That would have helped, but whoops.
Well, I've seen the guy a million times. I just forget his name all the time. I don't know why. I've probably seen him now quite a few times.
I couldn't remember half the time either. Don't feel bad. Yeah, China's is coming up as well. That's going to be great. That is next week.
One Night in China. It's going to be a good show.
It's going to be excellent.
Jake, you got anything else?
Vince McMahon said that he's only looking for characters. He doesn't want wrestlers right now. That's part of the reason he called up Rick Boogs and Rhea Ripley. He felt like they stood out.
But wait a minute. I thought he doesn't know who the people are in NXT.
When they're shown to him, he's not following them. But when seeing different people, or when said, you should bring this person up, he looks at him quick just with a picture and says no.
Okay.
But he liked the idea of what Rick Boogs looked like and what Rhea Ripley looked like. So
right.
He took them because they were different. And if you think of the people who he has called up recently, with NXT, Heavy Machinery, Nikki Cross. Before that, it was Sanity. And Sanity wasn't there that long, really. Aleister Black, Ricochet. It's people that look different.
Yeah, he's not calling up Adam Cole.
Yeah, he's not calling up all of the white, pasty, Undisputed Era guys. He's calling up other people. So I guess money that kind of lines up.
If Adam Cole wants to come to the main roster, he's going to have to become, get this, new IRS.
Ooh.
He's going to have to wear, or new right to censor. I guarantee you Adam Cole, when he comes to the main roster, will be dressed in a suit. Like, he'll wrestle in a suit.
It would be interesting.
It would be retarded, but I mean, I'm just saying, I think that's what would happen.
I'll say it's interesting. I don't know if it'll be good, but
Adam
it's
Cole. Adam Cole has T-Rex arms and a gigantic head.
Yeah, Know Your Role is right in the chat. Why did Matt Cardona not come to Impact with this attitude? No kidding. Right. That would have made a difference.
Maybe they wanted him to be somebody else. I mean, yeah, it's weird that he has all these good bookings with EC3, with this thing, with a few other appearances. It's almost like he's realizing, oh, I need an edge because people see me as the goofy iced tea guy.
The guy that plays with his action figures. Yeah.
Playing with my action figures. Yeah, exactly.
Long Island Ice Z, woo, 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 let me buy your action figures. Yeah,
right.
That's it.
Like, that's out now. It's not there. That's not... The New Jersey fucking douchebag is out now, unless you're going to be a heel.
Last little bits we did say before, but NXT TakeOver is tentatively planned to take place after WWE SummerSlam, so it'll go SummerSlam on a Saturday and NXT TakeOver that Sunday, so that'll be interesting. This Sunday, we do have NXT TakeOver in your house. We can go through the matches very, very quickly if you'd like.
Now let's do it later. Let's do a review.
All right, we'll hold on for predictions for the weekend.
Plus, let's just hope it's better than the last one, obviously. The worst
this one,
ever.
The Fatal 5-Way alone should be worth the price of admission, but, I mean, the match itself, I think, will be excellent. Brody Lee Jr. was being kept off of TV because he wasn't doing his schoolwork. So that's why people have not seen him recently.
Oh,
his mother reminded everybody, we're not being paid for any of his appearances. We do it just because it's something that he loves. It's his favorite place to be in the world, and it's a reward for his hard work. He's managed to finish the school year now with all A's and B's, so I'm very proud of him.
Why aren't they being paid?
I wonder as well, since wasn't he signed to AEW at that point?
I don't know.
Didn't they say give him a contract? So that was an interesting statement.
What a weird thing to say. Like, we're not being paid. Why aren't they paying them? Why should they be paid? But why aren't they at the same time?
Makes you wonder. So
I mean,
I think she was trying to say like there's no benefit to us, making him go except as a reward for him doing well with schoolwork. So I think she was just saying like there's no financial incentive.
Fuck, man.
And they did say that we were supposed to get Finn Balor as the Demon versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. That would have been something I would have been interested in, certainly. But the pandemic happened, so they scrapped those plans, and that's when Finn went back to NXT. So,
plus the Fiend sucks now.
And Neil the One says I think the contract starts when he turns 18. So,
there you go. That makes sense.
Now
that might be what you're saying.
Have sad news if you want to look at it that way, but we have a new NXT UK champion. So Kaylee Ray held the belt for 649 days. Miko Satomura now is the new NXT UK champion. So I imagine that Kaylee Ray will go ahead and make her way either to NXT main roster or the actual Raw or SmackDown main roster soon.
Oh,
but she had a 649-day reign, so hats off to her. Incredible.
And then everybody's going to get fired over there, right? Isn't that the thing we heard?
That's pretty much what's coming. So
goodbye.
One of the things they're doing, which is very interesting on Sunday for NXT, is a winner-take-all match where the tag titles and the North American Championship are on the line. So they're all going against Legado del Fantasma. And I was trying to think of, has there ever been tag matches and a like a secondary title been on the line at the same time? I know like we have WrestleMania 6 with like Ultimate Warrior, the IC title and the main title, things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember a time where we've had tag titles and a secondary title on the line together.
I don't remember that.
So that's quite an interesting thing to have the tag titles and the North American title on the line at the same time.
Right.
So Sunday I think will be very entertaining.
Yeah, that should be good. Should be fun. It'll be fun to talk about.
Absolutely.
But that's it, man. We're out of here, I believe. Hit that like button on your way out. And see you tomorrow night for all the wrestling. It's going to be a lot to talk about. Keep it wet. Shout out to the chat.
Oh, yeah? Horny guys?
Share this everywhere. Hit the like button. See you on Twitter. Shout out to Soundwave92. He was the top dog tonight. Thank you, Soundwave. Goodbye. And me and Jake will work on getting the predictions Saturday or Friday. One of the two. Some will have them. Or Sunday, maybe. One of those days. See you tomorrow night for Friday night wrestling, I guess. And then Saturday night's Monetize This.